Welcome everybody to the Lit Up Instagram show, the live version of the Lit Up Lightworker podcast, which is available on Spotify, on iTunes, on Stitcher, on TuneIn. My name is George Lizos. I'm a spiritual teacher, intuitive, and the author of Be the Guru. And my purpose is to help lightworkers and empaths to find and follow their life purpose. The Lit Up Lightworker podcast aims to bring you fun and soulful interviews with spiritual teachers with the aim of tuning you in and lighting you up. Sarah Small is the founder of the Autoimmune Tribe. She's a certified bioenergetic practitioner, yoga teacher, and health and mindset coach for women with autoimmune disease. Sarah was diagnosed with chronic illness as a teenager and felt like she was doing everything quote unquote right to heal her body and maintain her health. It wasn't until her brother passed in 2015 that she turned to the emotional and energetic side of healing, which completely changed her life. She now leads other empowered souls on their healing journeys by educating them on how to heal and build a holistic healing toolbox that will support their well-being so they never feel broken like she did ever again. Sarah, it's so great to have you on the Lit Up Lightworker podcast. Welcome.
Thank you so much. And thank you for that beautiful introduction. I'm just excited to share the power of oils today.
That's what I'm so excited as well. And going right into that. So I've just read a little bit about your story of how you switched from traditional, conventional medicine to more energetic and emotional ways of healing. How did essential oils come along? When did they come along? And what was your journey basically to healing with essential oils?
Yeah, so I had all these illnesses that I had been diagnosed with, autoimmune diseases, and I was really aware and cognizant of how food could be part of my healing. And so I changed my diet and I did, everything, air quotes over here, right. And then I felt like I hit this healing plateau and I still wasn't feeling as good as I wanted to, as I knew I could. Like, I knew that was possible, just didn't know how to get there. And so after I switched all my foods and started eating organic, clean foods, I started looking deeper. And then I realized that in my shampoo, in my body lotion, even my lotion that I thought was amazing had oats in it, and they weren't gluten-free oats. And so here I was smearing gluten on my body when I have celiac disease. And so I was finding that there was hidden kind of toxins in a lot of my beauty products, makeup, shampoo, conditioner, hand soap can be toxic. And so through that, I decided to start to switch out a lot of my products and start to switch them out for essential oil based products, which are just natural solutions from the earth. And what the kind of unexpected magic that came out of that is that I bought the oils for cleaning supplies and for facial care, skincare, but then I learned the emotional impact and therapeutic benefits that the oils also had. And that was what just blew me away. That an oil could literally transport you into a different time and a place and a different emotion. And you posted about rose oil on your Instagram story yesterday, and I was so excited to see that because I got mine right here. And rose is the highest vibration oil. So if you're feeling like crap, go to your rose oil. It's going to help lift your vibration up. And so now I use them for ditching the toxins and for like everyday use, hand soap and cleaning products. But I also use them to lift my vibration and my frequency and heal on an emotional level.
I love rose. I use it every single morning and every single evening. That's how I start and end my day. So as you said, I start my day and end my day in a high vibrational note. Thank you so much for sharing that story. It's amazing to see how the products that we use, that we're being sold as healthy products, are really filled with toxins that unless we know and do the research about them, then we are completely unaware of that, and we're poisoning our bodies. And I'm going to get into the details of that in a later question. But I want to take a step back because we talk about essential oils and use essential oils all the time, but some of my listeners may not be familiar with essential oils or how they are to be used. So what are essential oils and why do they work?
That's a great question. And I think people, like, they get their bottle of oil and they're like, what do I do with it? And what is it, right? Because we know like cooking oils, but that's not the same as a cooking oil. So essential oils are volatile aromatic compounds that come from the earth, from Mother Earth. So are her gift to us. And if you've ever smelled a rose, for example, the actual flower, if you've ever smelled that, then you've experienced the benefits of essential oils. The oil in the rose is what gives it aroma. It's powerful, impactful, like feel good sensation when you smell it. So the oils come from petals of flowers, from seeds, from bark, from roots, from stems. So the oil can be derived from different parts of the different plants, but it's all just natural and derived from the earth.
Wow, I love that. And just what came to mind, we have a factory here in Cyprus that makes products made of roses specifically. And I'm actually going this May to help in the creation of rose essential oil, as well as other stuff as well. But speaking of like other products related to flowers and plants, many people are also familiar with flower elixirs or flower essences, or for example, rose water, which is something that I also use on a daily basis. These are different from essential oils, right? Just to clarify things.
They are. So the oils themselves are very potent. So for example, I love that you brought up the rose factory you're going to see the processing of that and the distillation of the oil. So oils are distilled typically from the plant or the flower, and the oil is potent. So rose oil specifically is a beautiful example because it takes hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of petals of rose to get one drop of essential oil. So versus something like rose water, which has that essence of rose, the aroma of rose, but that's going to be primarily water. I use it on my face as well. Same thing when I'm feeling like low vibe and I want high vibe, I spray. But the rose oil is much more potent and concentrated than something like that, like an essence or an elixir or a rose water.
Exactly. That's what I was shocked when I went to the factory and they gave me a tour and they told me that it takes like hundreds of roses to create a single drop. And I'm like, we have so much power in nature and we don't really take the time to appreciate it. And I feel it's important to learn about the process because then we can see how much power we hold within our hands when we're working with essential oils. Okay, so while preparing, Sarah, for this interview, I checked out your website and I noticed you have some amazing hacks, essential oil hacks, and practical ways we can start using essential oils. And from my own journey with working with oils, when I first started using them and I bought my first oil, I was like, how do I use that? It smells nice, but what do I do with it? Do I have to dilute it? Do I have to apply it on my body? Do I use it for aromatherapy? Could you give us some easy, practical ways we can use essential oils, as well as clarify between diluted and undiluted ones?
Yeah, so let me just give you a quick list of oils that should definitely be diluted because some of the oils are skin sensitive. So the first way to apply an oil is topically, and you can apply what's called neat. If you apply neat, that means you're just taking, for example, a drop of lemon and straight on the skin. And then there's diluted oils that would be blended with a carrier oil like fractionated coconut oil. That's my favorite. And here's a cool fact. Just about 2 years ago, there was some research done on whether essential oils are more effective neat, meaning just pure lemon oil, or wild orange oil. Wild orange is the oil of abundance. I love that oil. And versus if they're more effective, you got that one too. I love it. Versus if they're more effective when they're actually diluted with fractionated coconut oil in particular. And it showed that actually the body's more readily able to absorb that oil when it is diluted. So even if it's not an oil I list off right now, I recommend always diluting your oils so that they can be more effective and more easily absorbed into your skin. Part of the reason it is more effective that way is because oils are fat soluble or lipid soluble, not water soluble. So if you add a fat like an oil to it, then you're going to allow it to absorb into the skin better, and it's typically safer. Some of the oils, so there's neat, straight up, drop it on the skin. Then there's diluted when you blend it with a carrier oil. And then there's other oils that are skin sensitive and sometimes either should not be used on the skin or should be very, very diluted before putting on the skin. Those are oils like cassia, cinnamon bark, clove, cumin, geranium, lemongrass is a very intense oil, but very cleansing, very powerful, but also sensitive to the skin. Same with oregano and thyme. These are all oils that are typically a little more sensitive on the skin. So if you have sensitive skin like I do, you want to be extra careful. So there's that first way of using the oils, which is topical. And this is one of the quickest, easiest ways for people to just have an oil experience. So just like we have experiences in our lives with people, we can have an experience with an oil where we're starting to like build this memory, this emotion, this feeling, and the therapeutic benefits around it. And all essential oils have chemical constituents to it. And when I say chemical, I don't want to freak anyone out, okay? Chemical does not mean like the chemicals in gasoline or in our cleaning supplies or something. It's the molecular structure of the oil. So that's the chemical component or chemical constituent is the molecular structure of the oil. Now that makes oils antibacterial, antifungal, antiviral, antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory. All of those things are so magical and so beneficial to us as human beings and our overall health. So when we apply oils topically, not only can we put them in a concentrated area, say I have jaw pain, I have TMJ, my jaw clicks and it's painful. So if I don't need pain relief everywhere in my body, but I want to concentrate it on my jaw, I could apply that topically. Or say my heart is broken and I just want to apply an oil like rose would be a good one actually, to my heart, or bergamot. Bergamot's the oil of self-love and self-acceptance. You can apply that to a specific chakra center, energy center of the body, or pain point on the body so that it's affecting that area directly. And your skin is an organ. So, you know, it's your largest organ. We forget that like all our organs are not just inside of our belly or our heart. Our skin is also an organ, and it's a large detoxification organ. And so because, again, the oils are lipid soluble or fat soluble, that allows them to penetrate the skin easily. So there's topical application. Aromatic is another way. So you said aromatherapy and like diffusing your oils. You'll love this. Your listeners who are just listening to the audio won't be able to see, but I have a unicorn diffuser.
I love it.
Isn't that cute?
And just people listening to the podcast right now, you can get the video on YouTube. So if you search George Lizos Sarah Small, you'll be able to find that there. Please continue.
Yay.
Yes.
Yeah, I love my diffusers. I have one in like every room of the house. So the cool thing about diffusing the oil, or like the thing about oils is you don't have to even use a drop to get a benefit of it. You can open the bottle and you can smell it. And that's free. Like you're not even using a drop, right? Here we are huffing our oils over
My
here.
favorite is rose geranium, Sarah. I love it.
I got lemon.
Just love the smell.
Open my wild orange because I'm calling in.
Ooh, let me get that one as well. It's so energetic. I love that.
So you can just breathe it in and you can receive the olfactory benefits. So
it changes your mood instantly.
Yes. Exactly, and there's science behind that. So your olfactory system is how you breathe in, you can smell things, right? It's one of our 5 senses. And what the olfactory system does, or sense does, that other senses in our body don't do, is trigger memories and emotional responses. So just like your thigh bone is connected to your knee, your olfactory system is connected to a specific part of your brain called the limbic system. And that's the part of your brain that holds memory and it holds emotions and it manages our emotions. So if we take an oil and we inhale, and we're sending a message to our brain. And so there's beautiful blends that you can get that are specific for more passion in your life, elevation, raising your vibration and your mood. I just saw one of our listeners'
Yeah.
comments. You two have me huffing my rose right now. That's right.
Let's all do it, guys. Get your essential
Oh,
oils out, and
everyone
let's
huff
just all
the
like stop huffing our essential oils and get high on essential oils
Yes.
power.
Oil high is what I call it. Yes, it's a safe high. And so you can get this rush of feelings, these emotional benefits through the olfactory system and through sending that message to the limbic part of your brain, limbic system of your brain, and transporting you. It's like when you walk in and you smell your grandmother's fresh baked cookies and it brings you back to your childhood. You can use oils to call in abundance or to stimulate happiness or to ignite your creativity and passion in your life. So amazing benefits there. And the olfactory system, aromatic benefits. I love it for emotional. Topical, like we said, to stimulate a specific area. And then the last is internal. And not all oils are safe for internal use. So you typically, at least with doTERRA oils, which are the brand I use, they will tell you, and most companies do this as well, they'll tell you, is this safe for aromatic, topical, internal? So not all oils should be used internally, but the ones that are, I just use conservatively. Like I'm totally on the conservative side. I say go low and go slow. But ultimately, the oil is so potent, like we said, all those rose petals that create one drop of rose oil. And so we don't need to use a lot. But when we do take it internally, it enters the bloodstream and our digestive system. So again, we want to dilute before we do that. And for people who are struggling with chronic illness or any sort of digestive issues, it can really benefit and soothe the stomach. But veggie capsules will dissolve, disintegrate by the time they get to the stomach. So if you want to target anywhere in your small intestine, for example, you need to put the oil into an enteric coated capsule. An enteric coated capsule is a thicker capsule that won't be disintegrated by your stomach acid. So it's going to get to, like, if you have SIBO, small intestinal bacterial overgrowth, then the oil can get all the way down to your intestines and not be done by the time it gets to your stomach. So oils, again, are fat soluble. So I typically take them with a fat, not water. Some people do use them with water. I just prefer not to because so many people have leaky gut and digestive issues and food sensitivities these days. I don't want to build on that. So I dilute, and I will take some internally diluted with a fat so that it can affect, again, the bloodstream or digestive system, like ginger, peppermint, caraway, fennel. These are all beautiful oils to help support our internal digestion and organs as well. So those are three ways to use the oils that are quick and easy.
Such good information, Sarah. Thank you for sharing these with them. And we're giving people a practical toolkit that they can use to start working with essential oils immediately. Now, you mentioned chronic diseases, and I want to touch on that as well because you help women with autoimmune diseases to heal with various healing modalities, including essential oils. Now, I had to Google autoimmune disease because I didn't know what it was, and then I realized I had one. I have eczema. I had eczema, and I've had it for years, and I've only been able to find a solution these past 2 years where I'm using goat's kefir with essential oils of thyme and a separate one with lavender. And it's done wonders for me. I take goat's kefir daily to keep me, because it is a gut problem, essentially. But I also found that using the essential oil in combination with the kefir of my face have helped heal it and stop the flaring up that happens occasionally. And also, another one that I started using recently was rose geranium that also helped with my eczema. But let's take a step back. Could you give us a definition of what an autoimmune disease is and give us a few examples so that people are aware of what they are? And also, why is it so hard to heal them with conventional medicine?
Yes. Oh my God. I love this question. This is like what I'm so passionate about. So autoimmune disease as a whole is a classification that many diseases fall underneath. So including eczema, like you said. And the kind of what is thought to be the consistency or theme amongst all of them, which research, I think people go back and forth on this, but basically the body attacks itself in some way. And so like either your skin cells overproduce, like in the case of eczema, or your gut lining is attacking itself in like celiac disease. So there's some mechanism that kind of is consistent throughout all autoimmune disease. Some examples, like you said, are eczema. And when you get diagnosed, the doctor doesn't usually say, oh, and that's an autoimmune disease, by the way. They're just like, here's eczema, here's a steroid cream, bye.
Exactly, and they don't even help. They just thin your skin.
Yes, and so the reason, so let me give a few examples, other examples of autoimmune diseases. Eczema, Hashimoto's is a thyroid disease. I have celiac disease. I also have fibromyalgia, which is associated with many autoimmune diseases, but not qualified or not classified under autoimmune yet. I think it will be someday. I also have vitiligo, which is the loss of pigmentation that you get white spots on your skin. Dogs can have it too. There's some adorable dogs that have vitiligo. They're like my inspiration. So what happens there is the melanocytes in your body, the melanin, no longer produces, and so you get white spots on your skin. Multiple sclerosis is another example. Lupus, Graves' disease also affects the thyroid. So those are just a few. Arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, those are all autoimmune diseases. So we hear these things a lot, but we don't really realize that they're all kind of similar in some ways. And the reason that I personally didn't experience any benefits from conventional medicine and healing chronic illness is that, at least in the United States, the medical system is really good at addressing acute issues, like if you break your arm, right? Or you have like a heart attack and you need heart surgery or something. Like, I'm going to the freaking doctor. Get me there. Take me there now. But what our medical system, at least, does not do well is address chronic illness. So it's chronic. The word chronic there is there for a reason. It didn't happen like you fell and you broke your arm. This has been something that's accumulated over years and years of toxins, of underlying issues, of emotional inflammation, of limiting beliefs. All of these things build up. And over time, now we all of a sudden have this diagnosis that we don't understand. And our doctor typically will just give us a pill or say, you have this for life. It's a life sentence. Go figure it out. And that, I didn't want to settle for that. That was not cool with me. I was like, I want to have an amazing, awesome freaking life, and I'm not going to settle. And so I had to explore outside of conventional medicine purely because they didn't have an answer for me. They didn't give me a solution. They didn't talk about food. At least medical doctors, again, in the United States, don't get nutritional training. They don't understand how much the gut impacts rest of the body, unless you're working with someone who is like a functional doctor who what their goal is to get to the root cause. So part of what oils help me do is address the root causes of the illness, whether that's viral, bacterial, inflammatory. Many of these autoimmune diseases also have this underlying inflammation, like where you're just inflamed. And I say inflammation in two ways. I say inflammation as in like, yeah, your skin might get puffy or your digestion is off, that type of inflammation, but also inflammation of your mind. Like, what are the thoughts you're thinking every single day? Do you believe that you can heal? Do you believe you're worthy of love? Do you believe you're worthy of abundance? Like, those things keep you sick as well. So I like to integrate both of those and use oils to help that as well. Now, so those are some examples and why conventional medicine is not helping all of us. I can talk about some solutions for specific ones if you want.
Yes, please. Could you give us some go-to essential oils to use for different autoimmune diseases?
Yeah. So you were spot on with the eczema. So you said you're using lavender. And one of the reasons the goat kefir or even just goat milk is also beneficial for illness or like when that flares up in your body is because, like I said, the skin is also an organ. And our skin is our largest organ. It helps detoxify, but it also has its own microbiome. So the stomach has all these good bacteria and some bad bacteria in it. And the skin's the same way. The skin also has bacteria, and you want good bacteria on your skin. And things like kefir or goat milk are going to help repopulate the good bacteria in your skin. There's a really interesting fact here, too. I think it was 1838, something crazy, that has been the last time that there was any sort of regulation around beauty products in the United States, which means that a company can take something like you know, perfume. You go to perfume, to the whatever beauty store, and you buy perfume. They use synthetic fragrance, and it can be listed as perfume or as fragrance. And it can have arsenic, formaldehyde, all sorts of crazy shit in it and not be labeled. So I'm going on a tangent now, but the reason that's also helpful is it's repopulating the bacteria on your skin. And many products that we buy, we don't actually know what's inside of them. So for eczema, when you're putting something on your skin that you want to heal, but they're not clear and transparent about what the ingredients are, you could be doing more damage than healing. So lavender is amazing for eczema because it is anti-inflammatory, it's antimicrobial, and it's soothing for the skin. Melaleuca, which is also known as tea tree oil, can also be mixed into like a lotion or an oil and diluted and put on your skin, and that helps disinfect. My favorite one, I'd love for you to try this and let me know what you think. My favorite one for eczema is cedar wood. And cedar wood helps balance the skin's sebum production, so that those like oil glands, and it helps to treat dry,
Found
itchy.
it. Okay.
Oh, you have it. Perfect.
Yes, I'm gonna try tonight.
So it helps treat dry, itchy, inflamed skin, helps balance the skin's sebum production, and that flakiness that you experience. I also have struggled with eczema, and that flakiness that you experience, it helps to like relieve that flakiness and smooth the skin back out. So cedarwood's really good for eczema as well. Yeah, and then let's see, arthritis is really common. So arthritis, either rheumatoid arthritis, where the white blood cells are going to be attacking the different joints, or just arthritic pain in general. Some of my favorite oils for this type of pain that can be so debilitating for so many people, turmeric oil. So we use turmeric in our cooking, but just like we talked about with rose, a drop of turmeric oil is going to be much more potent than turmeric powder, because they're processed a different way. So I like to use turmeric because its active ingredient, curcumin, is part of its chemical constituent that is really anti-inflammatory. So arthritis, we see lots of inflammation in the body, especially in the major joints of hands, wrists, knees, elbows. And so curcumin found in turmeric is a really good one for arthritis. Ginger is also another one. I think of ginger, I think of digestion, but there's also a study from the University of Miami that concluded that ginger helps, it can actually be replace a non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drug, which is like things like ibuprofen and Tylenol. So it has the same effects, that anti-inflammatory effect, that some drugs that are potentially hurting our digestion, gut, and liver, we can replace and swap out. What else?
How about celiac disease?
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah. So we see so much gluten allergy today, right? Whether it's an allergy or a sensitivity. So celiac is going to be the autoimmune disease where you have a gluten allergy. Different antibodies are related to sensitivities versus allergies, but these oils will help whether you have a sensitivity or an allergy. And my favorite is actually a blend that is exclusive to doTERRA, but I'll tell you what's in it if anyone wants to make the blend on their own. So it's called Digest Zen. So you can already feel like the energy of it, right? Zen in the belly.
Exactly.
And the main ingredients are anise seed, peppermint, ginger, caraway, coriander, tarragon, and fennel. And so these are all going to be oils that help soothe the stomach. Ginger, fennel, and coriander especially. So coriander comes from the cilantro plant, if anyone's curious. And there's studies on those three in particular that help ease stomach discomfort. So we can experience a lot of bloating, all the things we don't want to talk about that happen in the bathroom with celiac disease. And these are the oils that can help soothe and calm the belly. And all you do, it's so easy. And honestly, if you guys are like, that's too much, that's too many oils, I don't have those, what's Digestin, what are you talking about? Peppermint. Just use peppermint or ginger. Those are my go-tos. And I like to just lift up my shirt, rub them right onto my stomach to ease any sort of digestive pain before I eat, kind of in a preemptive, preventative way, or after I eat if there's any sort of stomach pain. And the peppermint is like a miracle worker. I put it on my stomach, and I've had like that Buddha belly of bloat before, and it's just like, whoop, sucks back in. It's like, it's gone. It's so cool to see these oils work. So I love Digescen. And then again, if that's too complicated, peppermint and ginger are also really good for celiac.
Oh my God, you're giving us such good information. I feel like I need to go back after we finish and take notes on everything so I can start implementing right now. And I want to keep on the same direction with practical tips, going talking about the toxic products that we use on a daily basis, like what you said, like hand wash, for example, and how to replace them with holistic solutions. Now, this is something I'm very passionate about, and I've wanted to do that more and more this year, last year and this year. However, I get so overwhelmed because there's just so many products that we use, and I don't know where to start. What is a priority list? What should we start? What is easier to replace first, and how?
That's amazing, because so many of our products, like you said, and it's 1938, that was the last time that we passed regulation in the United States about any beauty care products. And so this is so unregulated, and so many things that are being put into products we use every single day are endocrine disruptors, so they mess with the balance of your hormones, or they're carcinogens. And if you guys want to learn more about this, go watch the documentary Stink on Netflix. Oh my God, go watch it, and you're going to learn so much. It's going to blow your mind. So some easy ways to start doing this, because there's synthetic fragrance in so many things. You guys, if you've heard of the girls clothing store Justice, that's what this documentary kind of like exposes in some way, is that Justice for, 8, 9, 10-year-old girls, they put synthetic fragrance on their clothes so that you're more likely to buy them, and they smell, air quotes, good. But the things, they tested the clothing, it was pajamas, girls' pajamas. In the pajamas, there was endocrine disrupting shit, and then also carcinogens. So like, do we want to put that on our body, especially our children's body? I don't think so, right? So how do we easily switch and not get so overwhelmed by, oh my God, I have to go throw everything out of my house? Because I don't want anyone to feel that way. I want you to feel like I can do this in a sustainable and manageable way. I can switch my products over from toxic to non-toxic. Essential oils are a beautiful way to do that, and also a very inexpensive way to do that. So we think of an oil, and sometimes we look at the price of like this lemon oil, which is $10 for about a 15 milliliter bottle. At least we use milliliters here. So
yes. Yeah, as well. Yeah.
You do? Okay, good. And we're like, oh my gosh, that's just like a little bottle, $10. What? But one drop goes so far. And if you think of rose and how much is put into that one drop, it's sacred. It's so sacred. So it's actually pretty inexpensive, and a simple way to start to switch from from toxic to non-toxic. So first step, go look at all your products right now and read the back of them. Read the ingredient list. Figure out what are you actually putting on your body, in your body, on the surfaces of your home, on the laundry detergent that you use on your clothes, and because like that lingers as well. It doesn't all get rinsed out after you've washed your clothing. So look at the list of ingredients on your current products, and then just switch one thing at a time. So I started by just making my own cleaner, like a disinfecting spray. It's super easy. You use vinegar, water, and oil. Bam, you're done. It costs less than $1 to make that bottle, versus a lot of the greenwashing that we see in the grocery stores and other places online, where it's like they have the green label, but if you look at the ingredients, it's like there's tons of ingredients. All you need is water, vinegar, and oil, and you can clean all of the surfaces in your house. So start there. I would also start with your skincare, right? So especially as women, we're putting makeup on, and we're doing face masks, and I make my own face mask at home now. I use bentonite clay, apple cider vinegar, water, and then I choose a couple oils. So lemon or Melaleuca tea tree, or you said geranium. Geranium's a really good oil for skin in like that glow feeling, which is awesome. So skincare, another place to start. Even if you have a moisturizer you already have in your cabinet at home, you could take, like rose is really good for your skin too. You could take 1 drop of rose oil, put it into your palm, mix it together, and then apply that to your face to start using the oil in a really, really simple way. I also encourage you to switch your perfume. So that's where so many endocrine disruptors and carcinogens are in our perfume. And like, like George, you were just looking in all your basket there of oils. They smell so good.
They do.
Why not just like, here's jasmine. Jasmine is like, oh my God, it smells so good. So I use that when I want perfume instead of like brand names that I used to use when I was a teenager. So now those things give me a headache. And you'll be so surprised once you start to detoxify your whole lifestyle. Then you go into like, I go into an Uber and the guy's wearing cologne, or he has like an air freshener, and I'm like, oh, like my head hurts immediately, and I feel like I'm gonna puke because it's so toxic. But now I'm uber sensitive to it, but we don't realize how things are showing up in our life in all of these different ways. So start with the cleaner, skincare, perfume. Just like read the back of the label. Read the back, not just the front. Does it look healthy? Maybe, but what's on the back? What's on the back side? And you can start there, just one step at a time. Look in your medicine cabinet. I completely threw out eventually everything in my medicine cabinet, and it's now replaced with oil-based products because they're antiviral, antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory, all the things that you see on other bottles, but they're from the earth. It's so simple, and they're produced in a sustainable way, which to me, as someone who cares about Mother Earth and the environment, is also really important.
Oh my God, I love that. I just have a list in my head right now for things to get rid of, and I really dread giving away my Britney Spears fragrance collection. But I think that should be my next step, because they're not really the highest quality, and I'm sure they're full of toxins. But what can I do? Things we give away for health.
I know.
Sarah, thank you so much for sharing all this information with us. I am so grateful. You're just like a wealth of knowledge. You share so much practical tips that anyone can use right now to start bringing more health into their life and start healing instantly with essential oils, mentally, emotionally, and eventually physically as well. Sarah, where can people get in touch with you?
Yeah, so I hang out on Instagram all the time. I love Instagram stories. I'm at Autoimmune Tribe, all one word, and I hang out there a lot. You can also find me at autoimmunetribe.com, and I have a Facebook group called Autoimmune Tribe. So just search Autoimmune Tribe anywhere and you'll find me. Again, my name is Sarah Small, but it's easier to find me through Autoimmune Tribe. And I like to show up and just show up big and give value to people who are trying to heal beyond food on that soul level and just trying to transform their lives one step at a time. So I'd love to give lots of value and resources to the community.
And you gave us so much value today, so thank you so much for that. So this episode will be available again for people watching live as a podcast episode under the Lit Up Lightworker podcast. Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us live. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye-bye.
Thank you, George. Bye-bye.